Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
You're listening to a Mint podcast brought to you by HT Smartcast.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your weekday newscast that brings you 5 major stories from the world of business. It's Friday, March 1st, 2024. My name is Nelson John. Let's get started.
Top of the Morning by Mint.
Sensex and Nifty remained flat on Thursday. Both market indices marginally increased by around 0.2%. Ever had a single malt named Rampur or a gin named Ranthambore? They're all made by a distiller named Radico Khaitan. And with a top line of close to 12,000 crores, it's doing quite well. Radico Khaitan caters to the higher end of the alcohol market, which has found many suitors. Mint's luxury and lifestyle correspondent, Varuni Khosla, speaks to its managing director, Abhishek Khaitan, to find out about the distiller's present and future plans. Placements at IIMs usually consisted of consultancies or large corporates. But a surge in mergers and acquisitions has changed that. Investment banks and private equity firms are now lining up at IIMs to hire aggressively. Mint startup reporter Sneha Shah and workplace and HR correspondent Devina Sengupta team up to bring you this news from our nation's top institutions. These firms are estimating that the India growth story will need more analysts and bankers. This is good news for IIM graduates who were anticipating a muted placement season. However, companies across consulting, FMCG or banking still prefer applicants with prior work experience. What would you prefer? An electric vehicle which runs purely on electricity or a hybrid which has both an electric motor and a conventional engine? Data suggests that Indians are leaning hard towards a car that can do both, also called the hybrid. This is despite hybrids getting no incentives or tax concessions from the government as opposed to EVs. Hybrid cars attract 43% GST compared to a mere 5% on EVs. In 2023, more than 82,000 hybrids were sold in India. This marked a four-fold increase in hybrid sales compared to 2022. The growth in EV sales was subdued compared to hybrids. However, the number of EVs sold in 2023 was close to that of hybrids. So, what's fueling the growth in hybrids? It's a slew of new models. The expansion in this segment is being led by Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara and Invicto, along with Toyota Hyryder and Innova Hycross. But what does a growth in the hybrid sector mean for EVs? EVs continue to be in demand, but with a lack of charging infrastructure, range anxiety is still a deciding factor behind an EV purchase. Mint's auto correspondent Sumant Banerjee takes a look at India's changing automotive landscape. He also takes on the hotly debated question, should hybrids be incentivized? Punjab, the land of 5 rivers, has historically been an area prone to conflicts. C. Subramaniam, the agriculture minister behind India's Green Revolution, wrote in his memoir that the area's proximity to foreign invasion has made the people enterprising. Farming has been the main occupation for people here since centuries, and the area is yet again at the epicenter of the ongoing farmers' protests. The state has been supplying food to the rest of the country for decades. Perpetual harvesting over the decades resulted in its soil getting ruined. With the depleting yield of paddy and wheat and a lack of jobs elsewhere, farmers in Punjab are tied to their land. The increased dependence on rice and wheat at assured prices is also what makes the Punjab farmers edgy. Min Sayantan Bera, who writes on rural India, takes a deep dive into the issues plaguing the farmers of Punjab. He also explains why Punjabi farmers have been at the forefront of the ongoing protests. Is diversifying their crop a strategy that could work for the farmers of Punjab? Is there a solution for their issues? Sayantan tries to answer these questions in today's long story. India is still growing, and it's growing well. The latest data shows that India's GDP grew at an 8.4% pace. That is double of what we saw in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. Mint's economy correspondent Subhash Narayanan writes that this growth can be attributed to the robust manufacturing and construction activity. However, an erratic monsoon led to negative growth by the agriculture sector, official data showed. We'd love to hear your feedback on this podcast. Let us know by writing to us at feedback@lifemint.com. You may send us feedback, tips, or anything that you feel we should be covering from your vantage point in the world of business and finance. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with a fresh episode of Top of the Morning. Have a nice weekend.
Top of the Morning by Mint.